It just doesn't make any sense. And I I would love to talk to someone who's just like more casual with media and art, and it's not really a big part of their life. Maybe someone that is more into, they're a professional athlete or something that doesn't really pay attention to um media and stuff as much as I do, because I would like to see a different perspective on it. Like, I couldn't imagine someone like that, like, talking about it like how I'm talking about it, because they would probably not care as much. They would probably just be like, "Oh, well, it's content and it entertains me, so it is what it is." Um, so maybe it's all undermined by just people just want something to entertain them for before they go to bed or whatever. Um, but I think that even if you're not paying attention to it, I think that it's just gonna hurt you in the long run if you're paying attention to a lot of this AI stuff. Um, I can only imagine, and I can only speak for myself, but it would just make me feel really hollow inside, and I just wouldn't see the purpose in participating in that media. So
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
I did think of something though, with when you're talking about how they use AI in some movies. So um I recently, well, not recently, actually, it was about a year ago. Time moves so fast now. I watched this movie called The Brutalist. Have you heard of it?
No, I've never heard of it.
Okay, well, it was with Adrian Brody. You know that guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's something. But anyways, in the movie, it came out that I went to the theater, I saw the movie, that they used AI to fix up some of the audio or something in the language, or in the dialogue, I mean. And like, you know, I, I don't know how much of that bothers me. Like, I don't know if that bothers me really. I mean, I my first thought is, well, I mean, I'm in school. I have a class this coming semester called sound design. So why couldn't they just get the people who specialize in sound design to help them? You know, but like, at least it's not like coming up with the story or this or that. It's more on a technical level. Maybe it did save them a lot of money. Maybe it, you know, who knows? Maybe that was just the easiest thing to do. It's basically part of the system now. It's just too new technology evolving. And, I don't want to be against technology evolving and stuff like that. You think at it in that way. I don't want to be against that. If that truly did help and that got those people, back to their families, and if the product was just as good as if someone worked on it, good. The only problem that I have is when it starts, like we said before, becoming the media and just being a robot telling humans a story and nonsense. So what is your opinion on AI being used as a legitimate tool in a technical sense?
I think if it's a legitimate tool in technical sense, like for me, I gave the example of like grammar checking, right? So I think every single like grammar checking tool has by now been fully integrated for like 20 years into the art of writing. And I think if they're going to replace it with AI, then it's fine if it does a better job at detecting like the grammar inadequacies. Like I use grammar checking tools all the time. If they replace them with AI or they already have implemented AI, I'm not going to look too much at that, even if it gives me like hints on sentence structure. But for like generating ideas, then it's obviously like a bad thing because I'm just so mad at all these like hustlers that are on YouTube just like, this is how I make $10,000 a month generating AI slop of like kittens like playing with each other and posting it on TikTok. And it's just like you're helping the destruction of art and human expression. That is your job. That is quite literally your job. You're working on behalf of like some technocratic elite that wants people to be really dumb by making terrible content and filling the internet with it so that actual stuff that people put their effort and work into, actual stuff made by humans, gets buried. So I'm just like, as long as it doesn't proliferate that process and it helps people express themselves more clearly, then yeah, it's good. Like I think in the future there's gonna be some good applications where for example, the people that have trouble talking, maybe they'll be able to like write sentences and the AI will like put the sentences together for them. And then, the AI will generate a voice for those people who are like, they can't speak because they got in an accident or whatever, or people who are, deaf or speak another language, maybe because AI is already like translating with little earpieces languages for people that are like second language speakers in addition to English, which they will speak very well. So like that can help. But then also, if you're using it to replace easy things that humans can be doing, then who says that when AI can do the hard things that humans can't be doing, we won't all be out of a job? Like someone posted on Twitter, there is either two case scenarios, and I read this a while ago because somebody sent it to me with AI. It's either the best scenario ever or the worst scenario ever. And what concerns me is that I think the worst scenario is 10 times worse than the best scenario is good.
Yeah, what were the scenarios?
Oh, just the worst case scenario and the best case scenario. Best case scenario, we get like an AI utopia where AI helps, blind people see. And the worst case scenario is that AI literally
How
creates videos of people doing crimes and locks us all up in jail for it.
how would AI
Help people who are blind.
I don't know. Maybe ChatGPT will come up with some like new technique for, I don't
I
know,
mean,
doing it.
don't they think they is it real that they're like, I guess when they say, "Oh, help blind people see or cure cancer or something," it's research, right? It's super fast like research of coming up with problem solving and stuff like that that the AI is doing. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I mean, that's not my I don't know too much about it, but I mean, yeah, like who am I to stop that or say that that's bad? But I just don't understand why we want AI to replace humans from doing things that, I mean, it's a human thing. I just don't understand who would want that. And I guess we've already exhausted the conversation because we already came to the conclusion that it's these people that just want money, like you said, these people who are grinding, and I don't know if I've ever actually seen one of those videos. I don't really know if I want to, but that just sounds disgusting.
Yeah, it sounds terrible and it is terrible. Well, let's skip that past the topic of AI. What made you interested in film in the first place? Before this is even a thing, what made you interested in film?
I didn't know this was like a Connor
This is not a
A Connor curated
hit
episode.
this is not an interview. I'm just like asking you because you're new and I want to talk about this.
All right, all right. Okay, so I mean, how long do we have? Okay, I'll just get to it. We'll do a little quick history. So, I my parents are not really crazy artistic. My dad was a fan of a lot of fantasy films, action adventure films, as most dads are. I mean, my dad was he's into sci-fi. Particularly, he's really into Star Wars. So that's kind of what I was grown up on. I was really grown up on Star Wars and superheroes and things like Indiana Jones and adventure films and things of that nature. Um, I love them very dearly. I mean, my favorite movie is Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back. Um, and I was just fascinated by the idea of storytelling and basically being able to put other people in your mind for period of time and taking them on a venture to it through it, an adventure through it. You can, through the power of storytelling and movies, because it's a visual medium, you can literally put people in a different headspace, in a different world for a certain amount of time, and you can literally visually represent your exact thoughts, your exact outlook on a certain topic or story, and they can experience it the way you experience it. So, particularly um my background, I was just really obsessed, like I said, like with Star Wars and stuff like that when I first was a child. And I forget how I acquired it. I don't know if I asked for it or if they just gave it to me, but my parents gave me a camcorder. And I, in like elementary school, saw these kids on an iPad making like the iMovie trailers, do you know?
Mhm.
The trailer template
But
on
I'm
iMovie?
in the iMovie where they had the templates and you could, do those. Yeah.
Yes. And my family gave me this camcorder and they went out and they bought this Mac desktop and it had iMovie on it. And I just ever since then, I made some goofy little trailer template thing. And, my family that had no idea what anything was thought it was the best thing ever, even though they didn't know I was just taking random clips and putting them in a little template thing. Um, they were like, oh my gosh, cinema. You know what I mean? My family, which I said is not never really huge into art or anything. They're more into other things. But anyways, so that's what I spent a lot of my time doing as a kid was with this camcorder making a lot of these random videos. I would get everyone involved. I would get random friends that would just be over my house for a day, make a cameo in some of my videos, or I'd have people that would always be in them, like my sister or my grandma or my parents, just whatever, of all sorts of stuff. And what's really interesting, because this is really fresh on my mind, because I recently had to um, talk about myself and my journey with film and why I'm into it for a application that I applied to for school, um, but or a program I applied to through an application for school. So I had to talk about a lot of this stuff. So it's fresh on my mind. But what was really interesting, taking a look back on it, is I was grown up on all of these fantasy films. So that's what I wanted to make, and that's what I was really interested in. But I mean, as a kid, just working with iMovie, I don't know, I was like probably under 10 when I started just making these random videos. I wanted them to be, of like Star Wars as characters or stories, sci-fi and things of that nature. But I couldn't do it, obviously, like I'm saying, as a kid. Like I didn't know how to use VFX. I didn't know how to, um, you know, create other worlds through computer graphics. But what's crazy is that I did it. Even though they look really shitty and really whatever, I did it through whatever means that I had. So I'm really, obviously, I mean, why I would be against AI. I'm like, I don't even really like CGI that much. So I'm a really big defender of practical effects. And just using whatever you have around you. The biggest thing that I hate to hear is we'll fix it in post, because like, let's not fix it in post. Let's just like create some crazy contraption to do what we want
Yeah.
right now to get the shot. Like, I love stuff like that. No, let's just do it. However we have, whatever we can do, let's just do it on camera. And I just think that's so much more authentic than VFX. But hey, that's just me, because I don't really understand VFX and I'm just grumpy and this and that. I love movies that use VFX. I love VFX. I love what VFX artists do. It's nothing compared to AI. I'm not comparing them at all. I think VFX are amazing. It's just I'm more comfortable with practical effects. So, anyways, that's what I did, and I just used whatever I had. And I think there's something so just innately childlike and just discovering things about it. So when I'm going to school now, everything with a lot of these kids, I've done a lot of videos and projects now with other kids, and it's always, oh, we'll fix it in post, or they're trying to find like the most Hollywood way of doing things. And I just think at this level, we're never gonna have the best VFX. We're not gonna have um we don't even know how to do this really yet. We're not trained in this. Why don't we just try to do it look the best that we can as a practical element, or just try and put our all into making it like that, because we don't have the money to do all that and this and that. So as a kid, that's what I'm realizing now, is like I really was just being super creative. I was really just in my own little world. And unfortunately, this is kind of a sad thing. Unfortunately, a lot of those videos were on a desktop that I had. And one day I just remember, like, it was just all gone, and I don't remember putting it on I was like like I said, I was like 10 years old. I didn't put it on a hard drive or anything, and a lot of them were lost. And then I just, as a kid, you're just like, okay, let me make more of that. So then I just started making more. And even those, they were on the desktop. And when my mom had moved and my sister dropped the desktop before I could put any of them on a hard drive or anything. So I still have the desktop. I'm trying to maybe bring it to a place so they can get in there and get some of those secondary videos that I had made. Obviously, I have a bunch of videos made and stuff now through school that are, much more, a little bit more professional. I mean, it's still student work, but not me as a 10-year-old running around my house with the camcorder.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's kind of, every time I think about it, it's kind of like, it kind of sucks, but whatever. Going into it, more as an adult, I was in high school. I actually wanted to be, well, I don't know if I wanted to be, but I always thought that actually, okay, so like in elementary school and middle school, I actually wanted to be an engineer. I would say that I wanted to be an engineer. I don't know where this came from. I think it was maybe my parents. I knew that it made.
To be one too, and it's because my parents told me that I should be one.
Yeah, it's because you make.
We
It's because
suck at math.
it's because you make a shit ton of money, and that's literally the only reason why they embed it into your brain as a child. So I wanted to be an engineer, and then I realized, yeah, that I couldn't do math. I was better at English. So I wanted to be a lawyer, and in high school, I wanted to be a lawyer, even though I was in the digital media program at my school, and I was still making all these little videos and stuff, just doing whatever. I was very creative. I was in creative writing. I was head of the poetry club. So I was still being very creative. And then when it came down to applying for colleges and stuff, it just kind of clicked to me. I was like, wait, like that's not really what I want to do. That's not what I'm interested in. And if, we're at this point where you can go to school to be a software engineer or go for computer science and all this stuff, and you're still not really going to get a job that easily. This is the world that we live in. Why not just do something that you're interested in? So that's where I was like, fuck it, I'm going to do film. So I go to
Wizard school for wizards.
now for film. I'll be starting my second semester there in a couple days. And that has been my journey so far with film.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. So yeah, I mean, I don't have much to add on to that. I think I mostly just wanted to speak about AI and film because I know you're very passionate about AI and not being the largest fan of it, shall we say? But
Yeah, and I think I appreciate you because you definitely curated these questions to me. I didn't really know what we were going to talk about, but I guess this was a good
little bit.
this is a good
Just started, yeah.
introduction episode for me and for people to hear me and kind of, I guess, my view on things if I'm going to be on here going forward.
Yeah, you asked me about absurdism. You said that you like absurdism. What do you like about absurdism?
Oh my God. So I'm gonna directly talk to anybody who's listening right now. I don't know jack shit about absurdism. I don't know jack shit about philosophy. I don't know any of this stuff. You guys want to know probably why I texted Jacob that I liked absurdism or called him and said I liked absurdism? TikTok. I probably saw some fucking TikTok. I was probably depressed out of my mind. I was probably very upset about something or going through some sort of psychosis. And absurdism helped me cope with something probably. Okay. We'll
To
continue.
use absurdism. Well, my ears, la 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 la. My ears are plugged right now. I didn't hear anything that you were saying.